I guess we could start the show by giving The Who a big FU.
Now, why an FU?
Well, John Entwistle died, 4 days ago?
You can't blame The Who for that, Opie. People just die.
Guess what The Who did last night?
Oh, I thought you were blaming The Who.
Guess what The Who did last night?
What?
Grieved?
No, they performed.
They opened their tour?
They opened their tour.
How long ago did
he died 4 days ago. Now, remember, when this all went down, we said that it would be crazy if they went on with the tour, but then we had a little discussion, and listeners kind of brought it to our attention that there's probably a lot of money at stake.
A lot of money.
A lot of money, already put into the tour, so the show must go on, as they say. You would think they would wait a little bit and cancel a few shows, wouldn't kill their bank books.
Do they have any of the quotes like, John would have wanted us to do this?
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff in there.
No, you said that. The second he died, you were the one that said, and if they try to say, John would have wanted us to go on.
Yeah. Well, the headline goes, first show, fans, who knows why band's here? All the fans that went, they're sick too. Well, I don't know. I guess if you got the tickets, you got to go.
You're gonna go. Those tickets were very expensive. But it was a few $100.
It was in Los Angeles. Die-hard fans attending the Who's tour opener at the Hollywood Bowl questioned how the show could go on a mere 4 days after the death of John Entwistle, the band's bassist and friend for 38 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a lot of quotes. Are they just after the money? Asked Zach of Santa Monica, who purchased his ticket in March. Is that all that matters? But Waldman, who wore a tie-dyed Who shirt, admitted he was happy that he'd get to see his first Who show. Who am I to pass judgment, he said. Maybe John Entwistle would have wanted it this way.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, of course. He'd want to be dead and have his bandmates move on. They pretty much hosed it down and continued the tour, right?
Disney rules. Disney rules. Just hose down the scene of whatever took place, an accident on one of the rides and whatnot, and keep those lines moving. Hose it down and let it roll.
Hose it down. Others in the sold-out crowd of 18,000 were even more forgiving. After all, The Who carried on not long after the 1978 death of drummer Keith Moon. I think it's okay, said Stuart Campbell. I think it's good that people have a place to mourn for him. His friends are up there on stage, and that's a good thing. No, man, this is just too weird.
Did they do My Wife? Because that's his tune. Did they do it?
I don't know. The tour had the blessing of Entwistle's son Christopher, who said his father would have wanted the show to go on, Anthony. Our love goes out to the remaining band members and the entourage that makes up the Who family, he said. Yeah, but I mean, come on, wait. How about a week? It almost looks like they missed a funeral to make sure they played in Hollywood. Right?
You know what it is, though? A lot of people don't understand this about bands. Some bands, very, very close. Some bands used to be close, not close anymore. And it's like, let's say the place you're working at right now, somebody drops dead. You don't stop work. It's just somebody that you worked with dropped dead.
Yeah, but you don't want to think of a band as just, working.
Well, you know something? Years ago, they were into the whole scene and rocking and everything like that. And now, of course, this is all about the money. This isn't about, hey, let the Who get out there and get the music out. And, hey, dude, we're going to get out there and get our name back out there again. This is all about those guys making a lot of money. And I'm sure Entwistle wasn't making as much money as Townsend and Daltry. Those are the guys. If you're seeing the Who, those are the guys you go to see. The hardcore Who fans will just talk about Entwistle and, oh, my God, it's the bottom end. He held down the whole thing. You're talking about Daltry and Townsend are the Who.
Right.
There's certain bands that a couple of guys are the whole band.
Can you imagine Pino Palladino?
Pino.
He was on bass for John Entwistle. You got to think everyone was staring at him like, oh, my God, he's the guy replacing John Entwistle.
Yeah, because usually you're looking at Daltry or Townsend.
Yeah.
And then occasionally you'd look over to...
a little bit. He barely moved when you saw that.
No, he just stood there.
But everyone had to be focused on him like, oh, God, that is so weird.
There he is.
He's playing John Entwistle's part, and John died 4 days ago.
What does this guy look like? Is it one of those scenes now where there's the long-haired young guy in the band? Yeah. You ever see that? Like, oh, wow, BTO's getting back together. Or Foghat. Remember Foghat had one original member, and the rest looked like... like old 80s heavy metal bands.
Foghat, I had to go on stage and throw T-shirts out before the Foghat shows on Long
Sorry
Island.
to hear that, Opie.
When I was at BAB. They called themselves, well, they didn't call themselves, but everyone that saw the show called them Fake Hat.
Fake Hat.
Because it wasn't even the singer anymore.
No.
It was like, I think the bassist was the only original member, and then like the lead singer and the lead guitarist were like 25-year-old guys. I'm like, wait a minute, what were they, 2 when Foghat started?
Anyone that goes to see Foghat deserves to be disappointed and ripped off.
You can't go to see a band like Foghat or Blue Oyster Cult is another band where there's somebody else playing that is a lot younger than the band.
Right.
It's silly when you see the... And he's trying all the... Because I remember this, man. Foghat had guys in the band where they were doing moves like, like Kip Winger type moves with the bass guitar and, playing. And it looked ridiculous. Because then there's all these other, a couple of old men singing the old classic rock hits.
Yeah.
And you got these young guys in the tight pants and the long hair. It's like, what the... Jesus, that's awful.
I do want to say for the record that if Geezer Butler died, Bill, Tony, and Ozzy would not be playing 3 days or 4 days later.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Why does it always have to go back to
it was just an argument we had last week, so I'm just throwing that.
Hey, Big Kev, what's up?
Hey, you know damn well that Ozzy would be playing the next night.
No, he wouldn't. Eventually he would, but not 4 days later.
I think what's really funny about this whole John Entwistle situation is one of the things I heard was that John Entwistle needed the money.
He needed the money?
That's what I heard. That was one of his primary motivations.
Oh, it killed him. The rehearsal schedule killed him.
That's sad.
Yeah.
All right, Big Kev.
Take care.
Thank you. You know what's going to happen with a lot of these bands that we grew up listening to? All the original members are going to be dead, and the name of the band is going to live forever. And there's going to be just different people playing the parts.
Yeah, the name is like a franchise,
It's going to be like, exactly. Without it, I guarantee that's going to happen. It's sort of happening already. Journey's moving on without Steve Perry.
The Beatles aren't
I find it hard when these bands... well, you've been in bands, so I don't know. I'm probably going to piss some people off there. But I think when the lead singer goes, that's the end of the band. The guitarist will say, no, man, it's all about the
Look
music
at Van Halen. They were very successful after David Lee Roth. But that's just the fact that Eddie was such a strong presence in Van Halen. His guitar playing was... It made the music.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think when the lead singer goes, that's got to be the end of the band.
Very rough, yeah.
There's a lot of these bands touring this summer that don't have their lead singers anymore.
No.
Journey's the perfect example. They found a guy that just sounds exactly like Steve Perry, and their fans are buying it. They're going out and checking out this new version of Journey.
Yeah.
So now Journey's still alive. They don't have Steve Perry anymore, okay? Now let's say the rest of the guys die. But now, they established this new lead singer. Who's to say that they can't have another 20-year run?
Replace the entire band. But I think in order to do that, it can't be that a band just all drops dead. Let's say The Who. And then a bunch of guys just go, we're going to call ourselves The Who and play their music.
Right.
You got to get one guy in there.
Right.
And then the rest of the band, as they die off, you replace the members. Yeah. And before you know it, there's just a whole new band.
That's not crazy.
No.
I could see that easily happening.
Totally.
I could see us in our old age homes and the Who is still touring in some weird form or not.
I believe there are at least a couple of bands that are already at that point. If you think of those old 50s doo-wop bands and stuff, they replace their people and just use the name and go out and there's not one original member to some of those things.
At one point, it was too recent. I probably 5, 6, or maybe 8 years ago. It was called Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi.
Yeah.
After Bill and Geezer had left because Ozzy's long gone. Yeah, so these guys, even Sabbath, went through that.
Hey,
awful.
Vince has another good example. Go ahead, Vince.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
I've been an AC/DC fan my whole life.
Ah.
A lot of the people who claim to like AC/DC nowadays don't even know who Bon Scott is.
Yep. Yeah, isn't that weird? Now, that's a perfect example, too, now. Now, let's say the other guys from AC/DC dies. The band is still successful. Now you're technically looking at a band that has no original members, and the name goes on, and they continue to put out records.
But Brian Johnson has done a lot of hits with them. I mean, you can't. That's not a fair example because Brian Johnson. I mean,
sure it is. That's a great example.
It is.
AC/DC was huge before Bon Scott died.
He's not just some bassist. He's like the lead singer.
But you're not following my logic here. That it could happen with these bands.
No, I am. But he's not.
Same thing with like the David Lee Roth,
Van Halen,
Sammy Hagar thing. They were huge before before Sammy Hagar. Then they had a second life with Sammy. What if the Van Halen brothers died and Michael Anthony there, and it's a Sammy Hagar Van Halen band with all new members? I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I know what you're saying. Brian Johnson, to me, they've been around too long with him. Even though he's not an original member, he's been there a lot longer than... I mean, Bon Scott was great, but he's been there a lot longer than Bon.
Still not an original member.
Right, technically.
Dude, yeah. Well, technically, let's say that this new Journey band with the new... I don't even know his name because I could care less. But the new singer for Journey, let's say they get lucky and all of a sudden they have a string of hits. There you go.
Well, look at Kiss, all right? After Ace and Peter left... I mean, Gene and Paul were always there, but had they left, the band never would have made it. Without those guys, no matter who...
Gene is the... he rules with the iron fist.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, even when Eric Carr was there, whoever else they had, on guitar...
all I'm saying is there will be a day that some of these bands we grew up listening to will go on without any of their original members.
Yep.
And no one will really notice.
Leonard Skinner.
They're
still plugging away.
And had some sort of hits with, what's his name there. But they're still plugging away. I think they're down to one original member, two maybe. Who's the Leonard Skinner, aficionado out there? Help us out.
Yeah, which one is an original guy?
I think there's maybe two guys left because they lost another guy last year, right?
Yeah, who's pre-Crash that's still in the band? Another one is Bad Company. Bad Company has so many different members in it.
Right.
And it's still, hey, Bad Company.
Judy, what's going on?
Hey. I'm from New Jersey, and Styx, do you remember them? They came down to play at the PNC Arts Center. And on the cover of our local paper, you see pictures of the band, and they're listing them, and one of them is Glenn Burtnick. And he is a local rocker that plays in local bars here at the Shore in New Jersey. He is not a Styx member. I had to laugh hysterically. I thought it was so funny.
And he's the singer?
And he was a guitarist, but he was not with the original Styx, but he played with them on tour.
Styx.
And I recognized him from being a local guy who played in a band.
Did they do Mr. Roboto?
Well,
oh, God.
Is Dennis DeYoung and whatever the other guy's name, Tommy Shaw?
Tommy Shaw with
the mullet. Are they still in the band?
No, I didn't see them. I saw
Didn't you see behind the music with Styx? It was the best. What's his name? Dennis DeYoung? He's sensitive to light, and he can't tour anymore. And the band goes, go F yourself. And they got this new guy that sounds just like Dennis DeYoung.
Oh, so they're going to fool us.
All I'm saying is, maybe Styx has another huge hit, and then now you're talking about a band that moves on without their members.
Right.
That's possible, but like with those doo-wop bands, they're just pitiful. They just sell the name.
But they're not selling big venues either. They're just getting some older people that go in there and watch them, 300 people or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And then they make up this doo-wop name, and you think you remember them, but they're really nobodies. They just have this
All right, Judy,
doo-wop
thank you.
name. Hey, have a great day.
You
Bye,
too.
Judy.
Rob from South Jersey.
Get a hold of yourself.
The Temptations don't have one original member, and they're still trudging the casinos, etc. And Greg from Yonkers, even Metallica only has half its original members.
That's a great example, exactly.
Genesis, Phil Collins, another example of a lead singer stepping in.
Mm-hmm. And then there's some bands, someone out there could help us, where they're fighting over the name of the band, and then there's two bands with the same name. I think it might have happened with Bad Company.
Yeah.
Someone out there could help us out with that.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a couple bands.
Pink Floyd had that problem.
Pink Floyd.
For a while, yeah.
In Excess is touring without Michael Hedges. Michael Hutchins.
Iron Maiden switched lead singers from Paul Di'Anno to Bruce Dickinson.
Is there an Allman in the Allman Brothers band at this point?
Yeah, Greg is still...
I know there's, two original members out of an 8-piece band, is what Dan from Philly is saying.
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
I was just calling about, you guys were talking about The Who.
Right.
And a while ago, The Who toured without Pete Townsend. How does The Who tour without Pete Townsend?
No, he was still there. He just wasn't playing electric.
No, there was a time where they had gone out and they didn't tour with him. It was just Roger Daltry and...
Well, they were
still going out as The Who. It wasn't Roger Daltrey.
No way. If you're right, I'm really mistaken.
Well, I had watched a news story about it the other night, and they were talking about how for a while...
I know he
Townsend
toured.
with him.
Daltrey toured a lot without them, but I don't think he ever called it The Who.
Well, I don't know what show it was. I was watching last night, but that's what they were. Right. That's what they were talking about. I mean, how do you tour without Pete Townsend, the guy who wrote the songs, played the guitar on the songs?
You know what, though? I mean, let's say, God forbid, Pete passes. Okay, Roger moves on. get someone to replace Pete, and they continue for a few more years, and maybe they luck out and have a brand new hit, and then next thing you know, Roger passes. Who's to say the band can't go on forever?
Yeah. That's true. I'm sure Eddie Vedder would take over.
All right, Mike, thank you.
Yeah. Look, potty mouth playgirl reader.
Opie's cursing.
That's not, I don't want to deal with the music argument today.
Oh, just chatting. I'm not arguing.
You're taking little jabs today.
The guy said Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder is a talented guy.
You can't put
if you don't
art
see
in a
it,
category, man. No, he's
John, what's up?
Deep and brilliant for me.
What's going on?
Hey.
I don't get him.
You guys are looking for somebody who knows something about Leonard Skinner. Leon Wilkerson, the bass player, recently passed away.
Right.
So all that's left is Billy Powell, the keyboard player, and Gary Rossington, the original guitar player.
That's it, huh?
That's pretty much it.
And they weren't a big. Well, I'll be careful. They weren't a big part of the band in Leonard Skinner's heyday.
Yeah, they were. They're original members.
No, I know, but I mean, it was the other dudes coming up with all the songs and the riffs and stuff.
How many died in that crash?
Half of them.
Steve Gaines, their third guitarist, passed away. Ronnie Van Zant, the vocalist and band leader, if you will. Cassie Gaines, Steve Gaines' sister, a backup vocalist.
Wow.
One of the girls.
Didn't another Van Zant die too?
Run that by me again?
There's only Ronnie. Is he the only Van Zant in music? Ronnie, or is there another one?
Johnny.
It is Johnny.
There's three Van Zant brothers: Ronnie, Donnie, and Johnny.
Right. Oh, who's still alive?
Goddamn the South.
Donnie.
Johnny's still alive, and Donnie's still around, to the best of my knowledge. He's with 38 Special.
That's right.
38 Special.
I think that's another band that changed their singer.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, John.
Hey, you're welcome, fellas.
All right.
Vince from Bayonne bringing up, what about Dick York and Dick Sargent from Bewitched? See? They were able to replace him. Thank you, Vince. I got the joke. It's very funny. Come on.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
It's Darren Stevens.
Now, listen, I saw Deep Purple at the beach last week, right?
Yeah.
Now, Blackmore is not touring with Deep Purple anymore, but they got Steve Morse. Older guy, worked out really well. And John Lord wasn't playing keys. Norton, it was Don Airey. You remember that guy?
Don Airey he toured with Ozzy, yes.
That's right. He's on Speak to the Devil and maybe Bark at the Moon.
Yes.
But they did it right. You know, they had the older guys. And you know something? I like Purple better without Blackmore.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So how many original members of Deep Purple was there in that band?
That's 3 original members. Ian Gillan's not an original, but Ian Gillan, you know, that's the best Deep Purple stuff is Ian Gillan. I think so, anyway.
He was also a Sabbath briefly.
He was on the Born Again album, Deep Purple, which was an ass-kicking Sabbath album, man.
What was the one big song off that album? There was one really good song off that was
well, you had Trashed.
That was it. Trashed
was a good one. Digital Bitch, Zero to Hero. It's a good album, man. It's a real good album. It's not Sabbath, but it's a real good record, you know?
Yeah, I think so, too.
All right, Steve.
Yep. Thanks for the time, boys. Okay, sucks.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Kev from Hop Hog, what about the revolving door of people in Yes? They split up and became Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe, but they couldn't play Roundabout because the guy who wrote it wasn't on tour with them. I love when they have one of their hits, and they can't do it because the one guy that wrote it isn't in that band.
And the whole audience is screaming for Roundabout, and they have to sit there on stage.
Why can't they?
And then the guy that wrote the song can't go out with a band and call it Yes. Right. So he's got one of the hits, but he can't play as Yes. And then Yes can't play their hit song.
Do you own your own song after you leave a band, though? And why couldn't
it all depends. There are a lot of different things. You could sign it away.
Why couldn't they play Roundabout besides the fact that it's horrible?
Steve, what's going on?
Guys, how are you today? Hello?
Yeah.
Hey,
what's up, Steve? Good.
Hey, I just wanted to say something else to just tap on that music issue.
Yeah.
It's like, look at Motley Crue. Motley Crue fired Vince, right?
Right.
They came around with John Corabi, who just happens to be the backup the guitarist for Ratt because Robin Crosby died of the HIV.
Right.
You know, and, they failed.
Right.
You know, and then Kiss, on the last quote-unquote farewell tour, what were they out for, like 3 years?
Yeah.
They booted Peter Criss, and they didn't even tell anybody that they brought Eric Singer back in. I mean, it's just, that musical crap that everybody does.
They brought Eric Singer in, but they made him put on the Pete Criss makeup, right?
Yeah, that's kind of sacrilegious, ain't it?
That's great, Gene.
He put on Peter's makeup?
Yeah, because Eric Singer had his own makeup.
That's right.
We all know that.
No, he didn't.
Was he
Eric Carr had his own makeup.
Yeah, Eric Carr was like the
Eric Singer was when they weren't wearing makeup, right?
They put Singer is back in the band because Peter can't play anymore, basically.
That's not true.
Well,
Gene Simmons didn't want to pay him any more money.
Well,
Peter Criss wanted a raise, and Gene Simmons, that son of a bitch.
Also, he's completely arthritic.
I don't believe that at all.
I believe that and the money thing. Also, I've read Paul Stanley as being quoted as saying he'd like Kiss to continue without any of the original members as a franchise.
Let's say
without any.
That's what we were saying today.
Just pop them up like McDonald's outlets.
Why not? You know, I mean, you retire and the band you made famous goes on.
Keeps going.
I'm telling you, man. Check back with us in 10 years. Some of these bands will be doing very well.
They'll pull them out of the local area cover band, Kiss cover bands, as like the farm team. You can pull up a Gene Simmons.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, if Ace Frehley doesn't tour, it's going to be the tour manager in Ace Frehley's makeup. He's going to go on tour with them.
One of the bands...
the tour manager in Ace's makeup.
That's what they've been doing for the last couple of gigs.
That's classic.
Frehley hasn't been playing with them. He doesn't want to go back on tour.
Why wouldn't you want to tour? What else do you want to do?
Frehley wants to record his own album.
Or maybe you just, you get too old.
But why do bands, like, I don't mind, why just be a team player and split the money, stupid? Why would you want to do that?
Oh, hell no. Gene Simmons
there's no splitting.
No, maybe it's not a fully split. I'm sure it's not, but the money you're making touring with Kiss is probably better than doing your own solo.
They paid them.
How much?
They were salaried well, but it wasn't an even split.
It wasn't. You know something? When you're playing and you're getting a salary and you know damn well that all that concession money and the bulk of that tour money is going to Gene, and he's crapping on you at every turn.
Yeah.
The only reason you are there is for that little bit of money you get.
True, but I will say in fairness for Simmons, that him and Paul Stanley did keep the band going, because without them, Kiss would have died in what, like mid-'80s, early 80s.
Bad thing?
Yeah, because then they wouldn't have had this great tour.
Dan, what's going on?
What's up? Jefferson Starship.
Yeah.
They started as the Airplane.
Right.
By the time they got to the Starship, they lost half of their members.
Right.
Then Ballin quit, and then Kantner. Then they brought in that Mickey Thomas.
Right.
Called themselves Starship.
Yeah, right.
And they're one of those bands now that's out there where there's Jefferson Starship, which I think Kantner has. And there's Mickey Thomas's Starship.
Just Starship. You can't use the Jefferson.
Right.
But... And then isn't there a Jefferson Airplane?
Yes, and that's like with Kalkinen, I believe.
So all three incarnations are out there playing, and each of them can't play the other one's music.
Yeah, it's amazing.
God damn, that is so funny. Come on. We built this city.
Yeah, that's what the local...
Is that them? Oh,
that's isn't that Jefferson Starship? We built this city? Or was that Starship?
That was just Starship.
All right. Sarah.
We Built This City is in the top 5 worst songs ever written. That and on the what's the high we're on the freeway. That's not them, but that's another one of the top 5 worst songs ever.
What did Jefferson Starship do? What hit did they have? If Starship was the other one.
Love, isn't that them?
No, that's
really
Jefferson Airplane.
They had those bloated 70s albums.
Boys, the Jefferson Starship gets raked. They don't get any of the good hits.
Right.
That's classic.
Later, guys.
God, how funny is that?
Roundabout. They are terrible.
That was great pot music, man. It was a whole album side. You didn't see one groove where the song ended. It was the entire album side. Big, triple fold album covers with the cover art that you used to see painted on the local drug dealer's van on the side of his Ford Econoline van.
You could de-seed your weed with the album cover.
Then you just shake it back and forth, and the seeds roll out right over it, dude.
I don't like any rock album with xylophone playing in it. I just don't like it. It's terrible.
This was good.
All right.
Exactly.
We'll bow to Ozzy so we can move on to the radio show.
I'm not telling Ozzy at all. Somebody, yes.
Very technically, very good.
Yes, I know that. They were very proficient.
Hey, Scott, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Good.
Not that we need one, but there's actually 2 incarnations of Ratt currently touring the country.
God.
Warren DeMartini's version, the guitar player, and Stephen Percy. They're in court right now suing over the name, while the other guitar player, the old guitar player, just died of a HIV from his days. And on another note, the new lead singer for Journey, you know what his name is?
No.
Steve O'Terry.
Okay.
It's just a parody. It's ridiculous.
Terry.
And didn't they get him from a Journey tribute band?
Yeah, kind of like the guy from, the Ripper from Judas Priest.
Yeah.
They asked Hugo at one point. He's doing the cover band with my brother, Evolution, the Journey cover band, tribute band. And they asked Hugo, Journey asked Hugo, hey, come on, man. You look like him. You sound like him. Come and tour with it. At that point, Hugo had a band named Valentine, and he was, trying to push that.
Really?
Yeah.
If you're listening, Hugo, you're an ass.
Shut up, Norton. He was trying to do his own thing.
Yeah, why join Journey?
He also had a band.
Why should he? They were looking for him after their success,
and he was doing well. One of the bands that he had, he was the whole soundtrack to "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead." That was all Hugo's band. So it was kind of like, all right, things are happening.
All right.
Let me,
it's not his fault.
I'm not just going to go into I could do a Journey tribute band anytime,
All right, that's fair.
He's doing it now.
Yeah, he certainly is. Very well.
Probably making about the same amount of money he would have with Journey, so who cares?
There you go.
You're with the real band.
See, Justin, Menudo's a franchise band. Is
that still going on?
I don't think so.
Oof.
You're right, though.
Steve says yes.
I think so. I think so. If you check, I mean, it's not huge internationally, but I think in Latin countries they still tour.
You're right. They were franchise.
Latin countries.
They put out some real washboard ad young lads.
Anyway, that's how we begin today. The Who played last night, 4 days after John Entwistle's death. The show must go on. Hose down the stage and let's get it going again.
Hose it down.
Robert from Maple Shade, New Jersey. Norton talking about Ozzy. Norton, you stupid effing C. Ozzy didn't cancel a single show when Randy Rhoads was killed. Randy wasn't even cold yet, and Ozzy hired Brad Gillis to step in without a single rehearsal to continue the 1982 tour. F you, Norton.
Norton, comment?
I cannot comment on that because I don't know exactly the accuracy of what he's saying.
It sounds like he was very accurate. He had the dates and...
No, he didn't. He had the 82. Who doesn't know when Randy died and that Brad Gillis stepped in? My grandmother's dead and she knew that before she died. Everyone knows that. I don't believe that he didn't cancel a date, though. I don't believe that.
All right.
And he has been faithfully talking about Randy for the 20 years since it happened. No, I'm just saying.
Jeff, what's up? Jeff.
And he put out a tribute album to Randy, so.
This guy wanted to say all surviving Beach Boys touring separately, playing the same songs.
Yeah, they have the three surviving members. Each of them are pretty much touring by themselves with like a backup band, and they're all playing the same songs.
Really? They all suck, too.
Doesn't one of them call themselves the Beach Boys Family?
Yeah.
And then there's another one that's like the Beach Boys. Like, they got to change it a little bit.
One of them is the Beach Boys Family. The other one is Brian Wilson, who actually wrote all the songs. The other one is, like, trying to call himself the Beach Boys and got sued by everyone else.
How about the boring old faggots? That's what they should tour as. They are terrible.
That's what's going to happen. Me and Opie will be in court. Opie will go and find another guy named Anthony. And to be the Opie and Anthony show. Ugh. And then I'll be in court trying to get it. I'm looking all over for an Opie. I can't find one.
You laugh. There's been a radio show in New York City for the last, 70 years. John Gambling.
Yeah, Rambling with Gambling. And
Rambling
it's just been
Gambling.
His son and now his grandson is doing it. They just pass on the name.
What station is that on?
I don't know.
OR, is it, or something like that? Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, I've heard
Rambling with Gambling.
They just passed on the name.
Yeah.
From generation to generation. Rick, what's up?
I was just thinking about Creedence Clearwater Revival. You know, John Fogerty, the leader, wrote all the great songs.
There's a great story. Go ahead.
Oh, they were awesome. And then his brother Tom was jealous about it, I guess, so they fired him.
Yeah.
And then where did they go?
Well, no.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, why kill off the songwriter, you know?
They were touring as CCR without John Fogerty.
And Fogerty wasn't allowed to call his new band CCR, even though he wrote all the songs.
And he went out. He had some success, though, solo. After
he couldn't play any of his old songs for about 20 years or something either. Remember, a few years ago, it was the first tour that he could actually play them because they wouldn't allow him to.
Old Man Down the Road or something was his big hit. What was the big hit he had as a solo artist?
Yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah, that he had the baseball one. Center field. Yeah.
He's a talented guy. All right, Rick, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister is now in a Heart tribute band.
Why would you tribute Heart?
You got to find some big fat slob to sing.
Who wants to see the original Heart? They were brutal. You don't tribute an awful band.
That's great.
Journey at least was a bona fide great band. I could see tributing them. But
you know who should franchise is Dice. Get a new Dice.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm Dice.
Hickory dickory dog. Jefferson Starship had hits with Jane and Find Your Way Back. Remember that?
Back, yeah. Okay.
Find your way back. Ding, 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 ding. Find your way back to the
That is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
There's some songs that just violate you on a certain level, and we built this city and find your way back. And give it away now by the Chili Peppers.
He throws that into the same category.
Will you
that is
drop
so funny.
it? Artie.
Hey, what's up, O'Day?
How are you, Artie?
All right, man. You remember Yes with 90125 when they came out with that album?
Yeah.
90125.
All right, well, Trevor Rabin was supposedly like, this rich boy from England, and he bought his way into the band. But truth be known was that he was basically Chris Squire's boyfriend. Chris was owning him, so he got, that was the whole thing.
And that's how he got into Yes?
Well, I don't know if that's how he got in, but that's definitely the truth. I mean, Chris is a well-known flame. I don't know if everybody knows it, but come on. So, anyway, that's how that came out. And when
Boy George was sleeping with his, guitarist?
Was that it?
Oh, yeah. That was great behind the music.
Great behind the music. When he was all dosed up.
His drummer.
And then, you remember when Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman Howe came out?
Yeah.
At their concerts, I went to one at the PNC Art Center here. They had like this whole big thing in their write-up, of the program you get. It said, "Do you think that they should be called Yes?" and blah blah blah. It was like a whole, it was like they were fighting between the two bands.
That's what I want to do going to a concert. Take some kind of a survey.
Yeah, right. Do you think? Yeah. One last note, Doobie Brothers.
It's like shut up and just play Roundabout.
Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald. He wasn't the original member.
Yeah, and they were very successul.
Sure.
With him.
Hope you remember that. Jesus is just all right.
For fighting.
Of course, his faith. I know his faith. He's always, with his faith there, he gets all touchy. Jesus is just all right with me.
Jefferson Starship also did Ride the Tiger. Remember Ride the Tiger?
All right, guys. I'm personally...
Ride the Tiger.
Yeah.
I'm personally holding you guys responsible for the next 20 years of great radio.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
I got 5 left of me. That's it.
Do you like to hold up your lighters and yell, "Hey, play Owner of a Lonely Heart"? Another overrated, awful song.
I saw Blue Oyster Cult, and the only original members in that is Eric Bloom and Buck Dahmer, the lead guitarist and the lead singer, guitar player. And the rest of them are just some clowns. And again, it was long-haired guys, and they stunk. And my brother actually auditioned for that band, and they told him...
What band hasn't he auditioned for?
I know, he's all over the place. Told him he was too tall, because they are a bunch of fidgets, Blue Oyster Cult. Have you ever seen them live? They're maybe 5'6", and it's ridiculous. They're playing like these heavy, hard songs, like ME262, and they're little midgets on the stage.
I love our listeners. They're helping me with info. Chris from Trenton, New Jersey. Randy Rhoads died March 29th, 1982. And Ozzy played at Madison Square Garden April 3rd with Bernie Torme on guitar.
Bernie Torme. Did he step in before Brad Gillis?
I don't know. This guy swears by it. So Ozzy played, a mere 5 days later.
5 days later, Mr. Ozzy.
Wait, how many days in March?
And dude,
5 days later.
If he did, here's the difference. I'll tell you what the difference is.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Let me clarify.
Okay.
I was talking about A Sabbath before, guys that have been together for 30 years, and this is in the middle of a tour. This is not the first time they're together in X amount of years. This was the start of a tour.
Stop it.
It's tremendous. It's
Just
different.
stop it. Now you sound silly.
No, I don't. I'm right. I'm right.
No, I don't. I'm right.
I know I'm right.
Stop.
I don't know how he remembers when Ozzy played the Garden on that date 20 years ago.
You look it up. There's something called the Internet.
I know, I'm aware of it.
It's not just for sex, Jim. You can find some useful information on that thing.
And yeah, then Ozzy put the Randy Rhoads tribute album out, and he's done nothing but talk about Randy for 20 years, so he's been fiercely loyal to Randy Rhoads.
All right. Well, the point we're making, it's obvious a lot of these bands are going to go on forever with just brand new members. Someone dies, get a replacement. We got some money to make.
This is great. Fogerty actually was sued for plagiarizing himself.
Oh, that's right.
His old publishing company sued him when his new stuff sounded too much like his old stuff that I guess his publishing company owned, the old stuff, so he couldn't then go out and perform new music that sounded like his old music because he's plagiarizing.
How about Paul McCartney having to buy back his own songs?
Yeah, that's great.
Well, Michael Jackson, right?
I think so.
He was one of them. A few people owned his music.
Here's a guy, he created all this, and it comes a day, he's got to, pay a pretty penny to get all his stuff back.
You got to buy it all back. Yeah. And is it true the Dead are going to be touring?
Yeah, they're doing a...
without Jerry?
Yeah. Well, they've been calling it the Further Tour and all that, but now I think they're just flat out going as the Dead without Jerry.
The Grateful Dead.
But I think that they're what's the name?
Yes, they got
another name. Right. They're not calling themselves the Grateful Dead, but they might as well.
Really?
Yeah. Here's another 4-hour jam.
Technically, they could go on because Bob Weir, sung a lot of the hits there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jerry was the soul of the band.
Yeah, he was not, dude. All I want to hear, put on Casey Jones.
Anthony, we're going to take a break, and we're going to continue with the Opie and Anthony show.
Miracle, also from Jefferson Starship. And I guess Starship has plenty of hits to play.
What, Jim? Go ahead.
No.
I swear, look, hands up in the air. Hands up.
I don't have anything.
All right.
I was just talking about
I just felt like I was a little too rude to you there, and I'm giving you another chance.
It's fine. There's a lot of people happy you were.
All right. Nice shot, Bud Dwyer. We're back with the Opie and Anthony show.
Is this a tie-in to the whole thing we were just talking about? Filter? His brother took over for Mulder in the X-Files. No? So maybe you're trying some weird tie-in.
Well, Ben tries sometimes. I think he just wanted to rock there, though. Ben does pick appropriate songs. I come back from commercials,
whether he knows it or not.
Hambone from Jersey. Norton's new game should be called 6 Degrees of Ozzy Osbourne. Not a bad idea.
Of Ozzy.
I'm not as musically knowledgeable. No, I couldn't do it.
Well, if a name comes up on the show and you feel like you could bring this person right back to Ozzy, do it for us, okay? That's all. Not expecting you to be an expert, but the reason this guy wrote this instant feedback is because you have done that already with some of the people we bring up on the show. Dan from Jersey, The Who started touring last night in Los Angeles, 4 days after John Entwistle's death.
Rest in peace, John.
Dan from Jersey, you think Daltry will sing Meet the New Bass, same as the old bass?
Oh, that's good.
Very good. Murph, what's going on?
Yeah, okay, back with the Randy Rhoads thing.
Oh, no.
Okay, quick. Randy died on a Friday down in Florida.
Yeah.
That Monday they were playing the Garden.
Yeah.
He replaced him with Bernie Tomei.
Mm-hmm.
He played one show, then Ozzy canceled the tour. Rescheduled it. The next show was Nassau, and they didn't play that until, I think, mid-May.
All right, so they did cancel the tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a big reschedule.
But I wonder why they did. There must have been a reason they did that one day.
Well, Ozzy was a total alcoholic back then.
Yeah, but obviously they wouldn't have canceled the whole tour. They would have just canceled.
Yeah, well, he couldn't stand Bernie Tomei. He played one show and he hated him. Kicked him out after the gig.
All right. Wow, okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, Lappin' You Suck.
Thanks, buddy. So Ozzy did cancel the tour.
And the Grateful Dead is touring as The Other Ones. Thank you for that. So Andre from Boston, what's up?
Good.
I'm going to confirm this with this guy from Boston. What's up, Andre?
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
All right.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you why they did the one show before they canceled. They actually did that as a kind of like a tribute to Randy Rhoads, because they were like, hey, look, what would he want? He made that announcement that he would want the show to go on, and that's why they did that one show.
Okay.
Before they went ahead and did it. My sister's
too
got
much
the
information. Too much information.
It's not too much information.
Too much information.
I think that makes perfect sense.
All right.
All right. Take it easy, fellas.
Thank you, Andre.
That's what the Who is saying, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the Who Ozzy didn't start a tour. He gave up money and canceled it.
All right.
So, everybody's who thought they had old Jim Norton in a quandary.
Yeah, this'll solve it.